Hello, everybody! Welcome to another episode of Spring Fever. It's me, XFL Jim, joined by the one, the only, the incomparable Uncle Rico, aka Erik, aka eTop21 Sports, everywhere you can find him. Dude, what's up?
Nothing, man. Nice little week of football. We got a off day in the XFL, off week, excuse me. I'm going to be able to dive into a little bit more USFL because I have to be honest, Jim. I feel I'm neglecting my USFL watching.
Well, you've been busy. You've had NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. You were at the draft. You were getting ready for that. You were dealing with a lot.
Dude, I'm a wheeler dealer, Jim, but you know what? I'm excited to I'm excited for this week's games. It looks like a good slate. I'm excited to hear your take on the Sea Dragons no show and lack of discipline.
Yeah, so today's episode we're recapping the playoffs of the XFL. We're giving our picks for the USFL. We're talking a little CFL draft, and then we're sprinkling a little cherry on top at the end of the show. We're gonna talk a little XLeague, a little Japanese football for the people because they have some spring tournaments going on. Shout out Cyril Moore in the chat. Shout out Voz in the chat. Love you guys. Appreciate you being here. Erik, let's start with the XFL. The playoffs happened. We have our championship game set. So game one, we had the Renegades taking on the Roughnecks. Renegades win it 26-11. I was talking about this with Chase. I feel this to my core. This is kind of a tale of two teams on different trajectories. Once the Renegades got Luis Perez, that was just something clicked on that offense and they just skyrocketed. Meanwhile, the Roughnecks, once they lose John Trey Kirkland, they were just on a slow decline the entire season. They've just looked worse and worse every week. Silvers looked terrible. Cole McDonald, as much as I want Cole McDonald to be good, as much as I loved him at Hawaii, he looked bad. This offense was bad, and then the defense just couldn't do anything.
Yeah, it was a brutal game. Roughnecks just got behind the eight ball, had no answers, were playing catch up, and the Renegades got comfortable. And Perez is just a perfect fit for what the Renegades want to do offensively within the Stoop system. It's kind of crazy that in Las Vegas he couldn't just nail down that starting job.
I think he impressed me at Vegas for a decent amount, but he had one really really bad game, and I just feel like they never really wanted him. They got that other guy that they were just super high on, and then he just never really fit. And then he goes to the Renegades. He's just safe with the ball. He looks good, and we already know the Renegades' defense is fantastic.
And Stoops is just putting him in a chance to succeed. He's got the hot hand. Yeah, I mean they're looking good. But on the flip side, with how pedestrian the Roughnecks offense has looked at limping, like literally limping into the semifinal game, it was kind of hard to trust them to get it done.
Oh, for sure. I think if the Roughnecks are looking for one thing in the offseason, I think if they just need one thing to kind of fix themselves, their offensive line needs a little work, but every offensive line needs at least a little bit of work. If they got a legit quarterback, this team's a winner.
Yep. Yeah.
Because they have studs at receiver. You're obviously going to trust Phillips at defense, no matter, like, they could get a couple DBs, but if they got a quarterback, this team's, like, in the championship game, I think.
Anything at all. They would be there.
Voz, let me know the news, the Ghost Energy news. We could turn Spring Fever into Ghost Energy Fever if we have to. But congratulations to the Renegades. I think there's two things that are funny. Well, one thing that's funny, one thing that's awesome with the Renegades in the championship game, with a chance to make history and a chance to be crowned champion at 6-6.
And to say screw you to all those moto foes that said they didn't belong here.
Exactly. Erik, since you seemed a little confused, I saw your face. Ghost Energy is an energy drink for people that follow the channel, the YouTube and the Twitch. During the live streams, Voz turned me on to Ghost Energy. I've been a C4 energy guy for a while now. He shouted out Ghost Energy in a chat. I tried it. I tried the cherry limeade Ghost Energy. Mwah, delicious. I haven't slept a wink in like 4 days.
That's not
Keep me
good, my
going.
friend.
It's keeping me going. I feel like a new man, Erik.
Dude, you are the people's champion, dude.
That's what I do. It's what I'm here for. Congratulations to the Renegades. Also, though, with a chance to make history in the championship game, their offensive line coach could be the first person in history to have an XFL championship under his belt as a player and a coach.
Look at that, dude. Making history.
He played for the LA Extreme back in 2001.
There you go. There you go.
Won that shit, baby. Game number 2, it was the Seattle Sea Dragons versus the DC Defenders. DC laid it on them 37-21. There were parts in this game that you thought Seattle could come back, and then they were just snuffed away. I mean, the crazy thing to me, Ben DiNucci, no interceptions in the loss.
My thing is this, dude. And I said this comment on your guys' you and Chase's show, The Gymnasium, on Monday. It was like Lions football in the mid-90s, dude. With the mistakes of those defensive linemen, the personal fouls.
Oh my God, they just the collapse, the mental collapse of the Sea Dragons.
Like silly stuff. And then DiNucci, the sidearm shit. He reminds me of the talented kid I coach who just half-asses everything. I mean,
I would agree with that.
That's basically what I got from DiNucci.
But damn it, DiNucci, you were fun to watch. I don't think he's back.
You don't think he's back? You think he's gone?
I think DiNucci's probably gone. I think he wants to be gone, probably.
Yeah.
Like you see guys like McCarron, I think they stay. I think even guys like Tom who kind of know that he's a spring football guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think DiNucci is like he's really going for it. Oh, there we go. Vaz right there, one of the players. We'll talk about that in a little bit. There's a list of XFL guys that have been getting invited to camps. It looks like DiNucci's gonna try out with the Broncos.
Oh, really? Good for him, man.
Maybe a little practice squad, maybe a backup guy. The other takeaway, DC really stopped the run. Like Seattle had no run game. The defense just got 2 in their heads, and the defenders are just solid. I am worried, however, and defenders backers should be worried. I want to know Jordan Talmu's status on that hand. Got the pinky on his throwing finger.
Let the king fly.
You want Derek King full starter for the championship game.
Let the king fly.
Erik should cream if that happens.
Let my boy fly.
I love it. Also, Abram Smith got a little banged up in this game, too. Not good for the defenders.
That is not good, my friend.
So the championship game is set. We'll do a full preview next week. But, Erik, what are your initial thoughts on the Renegades versus the Defenders?
I'm taking the Renegades. I mean, they're the hot team coming in hot. So, that's basically what I'm going with. Like, it's peaking at the right time, and you kind of hit the nail on the head. We don't know what is going on with the Defenders at the quarterback position. I think the bigger thing, and I need to ask you, is how do you feel about Jack Cohn getting invited to minicamp for the Seattle Seahawks?
I think it's hilarious. And I'm actually glad he's not in the XFL anymore. Not to say Jack Cohn was the perfect. So I said it. What was it last week? I said Jack Cohn was the Kirk Cousins of the XFL because he just puts up stats but could never win you a game. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Fine, he could go. Good for Jack Cohn. I hope he gets it.
Looks like Butler is going to the Steelers.
Oh yeah, I have the whole list right here. Will you do that real quick? So they posted a bunch of stuff on Instagram. So we had the whole list of guys that they post on their Instagram for it. Holy cow, it's a long list. So we had Freedom Akmanduladon to the Dolphins, defensive end for the Battlehawks. Also played the USFL last year. Kevin Atkins, D-line for the Battlehawks, to the Falcons. Lou Bargu, DB. He's on the Browns. He was playing for the Brahmas. CJ Brewer, it was a D lineman for Houston. He's now on the Bucks. Hakeem Butler for the Steelers. I like Hakeem Butler to the Steelers. I think he could actually out of all the players there, I think Hakeem Butler could actually make it as a rotation guy on an NFL team.
Oh,
With his
100%.
size. With his size and
100%.
like he just needs to work on his hands a little bit.
100%.
Like you said, Jack Cohn to the Seahawks, and by the way, you got invited to the Jets too.
Oh, geez, look at that, dude.
Lucas Dennis, safety for the Battlehawks to the Falcons. Ben DiNucci to the Broncos. Austin Fagiu, DN for the Sea Dragons to the Seahawks. And Charleston Rambo. Oh, good old Rambo. Fucking love Rambo. From the Guardians to the Eagles. Yo, these leagues work for what they... I'll say it again. I say it every time. I don't want these leagues to be thought of as farm leagues, but the money's so good, I got to root for the players.
You have to root for the players, and you got to do what's best for them. But leagues like this get them the opportunity to be spotted, and hopefully we can see a new crop of players come in and get that. I would love to see like an Adrian Martinez in this next year.
Hey, he got the USFL. He's in the USFL draft, so if he doesn't get picked up by a team, you might see Adrian Martinez in the USFL, or you might see Malik Collins.
Yeah, that's true. Like you just don't.
Malik Willis, sorry.
Malik Cunningham.
Jesus Christ, dude. Hey,
It's
4 days no sleep. 4 days no sleep. 4 days no sleep. I'll use that excuse all fucking day. My last takeaway for this week for the XFL championship game. Sucks the Battlehawks didn't get to the playoffs because I think they would have beaten the Defenders.
Okay.
With the way they were playing. But that's how divisions work. And I'm rooting for the Renegades, baby. I'm full steam on the Renegades.
Renegade Nation.
Renegade Nation! Okay, now it's time for some CFL draft talk. For those of you who don't know, the CFL did have their draft the last couple of days. I think the big win for me, I think the Red Blacks came out good. I just based on the first round alone, and specifically the first pick, getting any offensive lineman based on how beat up their quarterbacks were getting all season last year is a win.
Correct. They definitely needed to shore up that offensive line. They were just an injury-ridden team. I know you and I were both kind of high on them, going into the year, but it just didn't work out, and they just could not get anything going.
Ooh, Voss says a dude from his college got picked up in the first round. Number 9, Francis Beamy from Southern Utah. Is that who you're talking about? Because he went to the BC Lions. I mean, the BC Lions getting that defense short up. I am worried. The Lions, the only thing I'm worried about now is if they can keep up an offensive pace without Nathan Rourke.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be the $1 million question, dude.
Because they went from one of the worst teams in the league 2 years ago to one of the top 3 teams in the league last year.
That is the $1 million question. Are they going to be able to keep that up and get that? You know what I mean? Like, how are they going to replace him?
It's almost impossible in my mind. You see, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be 100% forthcoming with people. A lot of these players, me and Erik, this is our first time seeing their names. It's a fact. These are just guys right out of college. Jonathan Sutherland, I approach this the same way I approach a lot of these like USFL, XFL drafts. When certain schools from certain conferences, I'm like, that's a good pick. Like the Alouettes getting Jonathan Sutherland, linebacker from Penn State. I just think good.
You just immediately think, yes, that's a good pick.
Well, I'm just like, Penn State has a track record of a position group being solid. Like he's not like an edge rusher. He's 198 pounds and 5'11".
Yeah.
But I just think Penn State, I think Big Ten, I think good. Lawal Ugok, also to the Alouettes from TCU. I think good. Like the Red Blacks getting Dante Bull from Fresno State, good.
Good.
Fresno State, good offensive line, good offense, Good conference. I love the Mountain West. Good pick.
I agree. I agree, my friend.
I don't trust the Rough Riders to do anything right, so I'm just gonna say they had a bad draft. I'm just gonna flat out say this, and then I trust the Blue Bombers to do everything right. So good for them. And I'm gonna be, again, honesty. I don't know any Canadian football players in college.
I'm gonna be honest here. I know a lot of shit, but I know nothing when it comes to Canadian football in college.
And again, I assume similar to the NFL draft, we're not going to know if this is a good draft or a bad draft for like a year or two down the line.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. We always try to like, oh, this is a good draft. Oh, they did good. But the reality of the situation is, look, no one freaking knows if they did good. We have no idea. Canadian
names are the best. Pick number 35. The Bombers select Tanner Schmeckel from Regina.
From Regina.
The beautiful area of Regina. But I'm looking forward to it. And hey, the CFL's coming up, baby.
Dude, it's literally like right around the corner.
I mean, the preseason's this month.
Yeah. Yep. Literally right around the corner. Yeah, but dude, how does a 6'8" defensive lineman get drafted in the 8th round of the CFL?
Different priorities, I guess.
From Ole Miss.
I would assume that's a good pick. That's massive. Probably because he's only 240.
Yeah, that could be it.
At 6'8", 240 is kind of skinny, right?
Yeah, that is kind of.
Put on some weight, buddy. Also, it is interesting seeing some guys in these drafts born in like 1997.
Does that make you feel old, dude?
It does. Well, like most of these guys are born around like 2000, 2001. And then you have like a 1997, 1998, where that's only like that's like 2 or 3 years younger than me.
Yeah, dude. Does that make you feel old?
It does. I'm starting to feel old, Eric. I'm almost 30.
Welcome to the show.
That's what we're about. But now,
well, dude, time out.
Okay, go ahead.
I knew this name looked familiar. He got drafted by the Ravens.
Who are you talking about?
Pavius Robinson got drafted by the Ravens.
Yeah, so I meant to say this earlier. And so some of these guys with the CFL draft, there's like a caveat for some of the American players and probably some of the Canadian players. They're looking to get offers from NFL teams still. They're looking to get like undrafted free agent status. Some of them may have gotten drafted by NFL teams. So they're trying to like ride that out.
Chase Brown from Illinois.
Yep.
So, okay. So some of these guys
might not be playing in the CFL. Some of them might actually be on an NFL team.
Yeah. But why waste? I mean, I get it.
Well, it means they get like first pick. Like,
I get it.
And I always feel like the CFL probably survives more off of like trades and just people coming in than obviously they survive mainly off the Canadian blood that's there because you can only have, what was it? It's like 4 American. What is the CFL? I'm going to look it up right now. So I'm not just
I think it's 4 Americans.
The ratio. Let me look at the ratio.
The ratio.
Max of 20 Americans on the team at all.
Oh, geez.
2 quarterbacks. Minimum of 21 national players. Of the 24 stars on a team, a minimum of 7 stars will be national players. When applied to a starting roster, a team breaks down as follows when using the minimum number of national players. 1 quarterback, 16 American players, 7 starting national players.
Boom. Look at that.
Okay.
I see you.
But some American players, like some players that went to American colleges, qualify as Canadian national players. Like that worked for Nathan Rourke. He went to Ohio, tore it up at Ohio, but he's from Canada.
Yeah, same thing. We're talking about the guy we're just talking about is from Ontario, Robinson. So if he doesn't make it, he wouldn't count as an American player because he was born in Ontario.
But I feel like that's so of the American players that get it. I feel like a lot of them are like either ex-NFL guys or guys that kind of like rose up and just decide to go play Canadian ball. Like I don't know if they necessarily get drafted, so to speak. Like I don't think Chad Kelly got drafted.
Good old Chad Kelly.
Hey, that's a CFL champion you're talking about.
Chad freaking Kelly.
But now, Eric, it's time for a little USFL action. We have some games to pick.
Dog.
So we're already in week 4 of the USFL. Season goes fast, folks. Season goes lightning fast.
So, all right, I'm ready to dive in, big dog.
Okay, game number 1, Gamblers Stars. Stars minus 2.5. Over under 45. Minus 140 on the money line for the Stars. Plus 120 for the Gamblers at Ford Field.
So we're looking at 2.5, 45. I kind of want to take the Stars here just because I expect them to bounce back after the last loss. Gamblers coming off their first win, and the Gamblers have the Stallions on deck.
I'm kind of right there with you. I think that combined with, I feel like this line's an overreaction a bit.
Yep.
I'm on the Stars as well. I found him at -2. If you can find him at -2, get him at -2.
I agree. I'm looking at our friends at BOL, and they have a -2.
I kind of want to take the under.
Really? Scoring's up this year, and that's the one thing I'm worried about, man.
It is. That's fair. Stars defense needs a comeback win here, and I don't fully trust the Gamblers offense, even after a win against the Showboats. I'm going to take the under, but I could see this game going either way. I feel like it could either turn into a shootout between Cookus and Bahar, where both defenses sort of start to collapse, or the Stars defense gets like a bajillion picks.
I'm gonna take the Stars, dude.
I'm definitely, I love the Stars here.
I just think that's it. I just think this is the time they need to freaking show up, and I think this is where they get on the right track. I don't think that how can I word this politely? The Gamblers are good.
Fair, but I feel like this year in particular for the USFL, I mean, it's only week 4. We've only had 3 games. I feel like this year there's way more parity than there was last year.
Oh, I agree 100% with that, but I'm still not.
Like, I still think the Gamblers are one of like the bottom 3 teams.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Showboats Panthers up next. Panthers -6, over under 45. Panthers -245 on the money line, plus 205 for the Showboats. I think the Showboats might be the worst team.
Really?
I think Todd Haley's probably the worst coach this year. And I don't know if you saw, Eric, but he kind of was like bad-mouthing the coach last week after the game.
Bad-mouthing the opposing coach?
Yeah, when they went for the handshake, he had some like salty words to say. He thought they were like filming his practices. He was very upset and very like just, he was arguing with him.
Really?
Yeah, he was just a big bitch. I don't know how Eric feels about sore losers, but I thought it looked very, very bad on Todd Haley, who I will reiterate is a bitch.
I'm pro sore losers.
I wouldn't have thought that.
As someone that has broken some stuff when he's lost, that happens, dude.
Yeah, but when you lose, do you go to your opponent and just like shit talk him right away?
If they were shit talking during the match, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know if there was any shit talking between the two coaches.
If there's no shit talking going on, then no.
Like they were going in for the handshake and he was just like salty and crying.
Then you're a bitch.
Yeah. I'm taking the Panthers here in a bounce back.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the over 45 in this game.
Okay.
I think this is just a huge Panthers bounce back. And I do think the Showboats offense can maybe do something. It's tough, though. Again, it's another one I can see going either way because the Panthers defense is so good.
Yeah, that was a little surprise with the Panthers completely no-showing against the Generals.
It was mind-blowing. I think the Generals might be better than we gave them credit for, though.
Maybe it took them a little while.
I think the Generals and the Stars are kind of like neck and neck. Those are the two teams that are like vying for that spot.
If the Showboats don't win this game, their season's basically over.
Basically, I mean, the South to me is still like a 2-horse race between the Breakers and the Stallions. I think like the Gamblers and the Showboats really don't have a shot. But yeah, if they lose this, the season's basically over for the Showboats, which is mind-blowing to say already in week 4. But I think it's that serious because the South is that tight of like you don't. There's really two teams like you already lost to the Gamblers, and you're really like it's between the Stallions and the Breakers. You don't have a lot of wiggle room there. In the North, I feel like all those teams are beating up each other. In the South, it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
At least right now. This is all like projection because it's so early in the season, but we kind of have to do that with such a short season.
Yeah. Yep.
I like the Panthers here, -6. I like the over. Eric, you doing anything in this game?
I'll probably take the Showboats, dude, if I'm going to be utterly honest.
You're going to take the Shodies.
I mean, I just feel like 6 is too much. Just because, like, dude, like, I look at it like this, like,
I respect
their
it.
season is over if they lose this game, and this is going to be their best effort.
Yeah, but also this doubles for me. I'm going to fade Todd Haley when the pressure's on.
Well, you know what? I respect that.
Thank you. Game number 3, the Breakers versus the Generals. The Breakers, the lone undefeated team after last week. There's only one undefeated team left, and that is the New Orleans Breakers.
Do we fade? I have no idea what to do here.
Breakers are -2.5, over under 48, +130 on the money line for the Generals, -150 for the Breakers. This is such a tough one to do. I think this could be the game of the weekend. It's in Ohio. It's in Canton. It's tough. I really don't know. I'm going to lean towards the Breakers here.
Yep.
But they seem to play to the level of their competition. I also think the Breakers are undefeated against the spread, by the way. They're 3-0 ATS. But the Generals are just coming off of like 2 banger wins.
But here's the thing. They're not going to go undefeated this year.
No, I don't think they're going to. So let's take a look at the USFL schedule. I don't think they lose this one.
Next week, they play the Showboats.
Again? Already?
Next week, the Breakers play the Showboats.
Already? Wow.
In week 5.
No, sorry. They played the Maulers week 1. I keep forgetting that. So, no, they're good. I mean, I could see that. I could see week 5 being the loss for the Breakers. I could see...
Week 6, they play the Stars. After the Stars, they play the Stallions. Week 8, they play the Panthers.
Oh, that's actually a tough schedule.
Week 9, they play the Showboats. And then they finish the season week 10 against the Gamblers.
Here's my hot take. I don't think there's not one team that goes undefeated. I don't know if there's a team that even just has one loss. I think your championship game is between teams with like at least 2, maybe 3 losses.
2-4 losses. Yeah, I can see that. I will say this, and you and I have talked about the quality of football is up a lot more. Maulers aren't as bad. Showboats, obviously, I don't understand how you can have Alex Collins and not be that good.
It's mind-blowing. I'm going to lean towards the Breakers here. I'm going to take the Breakers. I'm going to take the over in this matchup. 48's a lot of points, I know, but I'm taking the over here.
Okay.
I wouldn't fault you for the under. This Breakers D-line is mean. The one thing the Breakers do have this year going for them that they didn't last year is a stellar run game.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm gonna go on the over though, over 48. Last game, the Birmingham Stallions versus the Pittsburgh Maulers. The Stallions are -8, over under of 43.5. This one is in Canton, Ohio, +265 on the money line for the Maulers. By the way, this is the biggest spread.
7's a lot of points.
It's 8 where I'm seeing it.
Oh man.
But this is the Stallions off of a loss.
Yeah, that's true.
The second loss in franchise history since 2022.
But they don't have their starting quarterback.
But they don't have J.M.R. Smith, and they have other injuries. The Maulers are feisty. This is such a don't pick this game because this is the Stallions off of a loss. This is the Maulers off of their first win in God knows how long. If this was tighter, if this was like under a 6, I'd be all over the Stallions.
Yeah, even the first half is 4.5.
Fuck.
Yeah, this is a pass. I'll use my pass here, my friend.
I'm taking the Stallions.
Jesus, Jim.
I'm taking the Stallions.
I don't know how you do that, my friend.
I'm taking the chalk. I'm taking the under 43.5.
You're going to eat that chalk, my friend?
I'm going to eat that chalk. I'm going to take the under 43.5. I think I'm on chalk for all the games this week. Fuck. I'm on the favorite for every single game, Eric. Watch out, people. Fade me this weekend because that's dangerous.
I'm sorry.
How often do you ever get scared when you do that? When you go through all your picks and you're not thinking, and then you take a look at the big board and you're like, oh, I took all the favorites.
Well, Jim, I hardly ever take favorites.
It's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's not a good feeling, but I'm doing it.
I will say this: the bad feeling for me is there's a couple of people I look at as a shitty bettors, and when I see them tweet out or they tell me they're on a bet and I'm on the same bet, it's like I immediately know it's an L.
Oh yeah, like the people like the mush accounts you follow.
Yeah. I actually one mush account I have notifications set up, and if I get an alert, I'll just immediately just buy out of my position. Just immediately.
Do you ever get an alert and like auto fade them and just pick the opposite side?
No, I won't do that, but I will buy out if there is something going on. If he's on the same stuff as me.
Eric, are you only betting one bet or two in this week's USFL?
I'm going to take the Stars minus the 2, the Showboats plus the 6. That's it. The Sunday games really have me shook. I really don't know what to do. Was this just a fluke week for the Generals? Are the break? You know what I mean? Breakers aren't going to win them all, but it does seem logical in my heads that next week is the game they lose. And then you got the Maulers coming off a win. You have the Stallions coming off a loss, but you have 8 points, and the Stallions with their backup quarterback. Maybe I'll look to the under here for 43.
I don't hate that. That's what I'm on. So the picks that I like, I'm picking everything. So just my pick slate for the whole deal. I'm on the Stars minus 2, over 45 in that game. I'm on the Panthers minus 6, over 45 in that game. I'm on the Breakers minus 2.5. I'm on the over in that game. Jesus Christ. And I'm on the Stallions minus 8, under 43.5. The only under I took was the lowest under.
And you're laying the points.
And I'm laying the points. This is probably where my great streak of betting for the month of May ends. But I'm sticking with my picks. I'm not going to flip.
You know what? I respect that, man. You're my boy, Blue.
I really wish these books would get arena football. What up, Herb? Shout out Herb Phillips.
What up, Herb?
Always a goat. But now, Eric, it's time for the cherry on top of the stream. We have a little XLeague to talk about. So there's 2 tournaments I want to talk about in the XLeague. The Pearl Bowl and the Green Bowl. So these are basically XLeague super tournaments in between for like regions. So they have the Kanto region, which is more Eastern, and they have like the Western region. So the Pearl Bowl is for the Eastern region. The Green Bowl is for the Western region. They each do like their own little tournament. They have a bunch of games. They play them out. The winner is declared June 18th. So they start this weekend. They end June 18th. It's going to be fun. So for the Pearl Bowl, this weekend's matchups. Saturday, May 6th, which really means like Friday night for us. Obic Seagulls and the Deers, Tokyo Gas, IBM, Dentsu, Caterpillars, Fujitsu, and then the Asahi Beer and Nojima Sajimahira. It's going to be good matchups. Erik, Obik or the Deers? Who we taking in that one? I'm on Obik.
It's got to be Obik, dude.
Tokyo Gas, IBM.
Got to be IBM.
Yep. Remember from last year, folks. Dentsu Caterpillars versus Fujitsu. I am all over Fujitsu.
Have to.
And I might stream one of these games. We'll see. I might stream a game or two. Asahi Beer versus Nojima. I'm gonna take the beer.
You're gonna take the beer?
I'm gonna take the beer. Moving out west, we have the Asahi Beverage versus the Elecom Kobe Phoenies. Panasonic Impulse versus the Fukuoka Suns. That is the Green Bowl. That's where we're starting off with that. Asahi Beverage or Elecom?
Where are you going?
I'm going Kobe.
Okay, I'll go Kobe too.
The next one's easier. Panasonic Impulse or Fukuoka Suns? Panasonic all day.
Panasonic
all day. These ones are happening next week. So May 14th are these games is when the Green Bowl starts. Okay. I like how there's so few Western teams in the XLeague. They only get 4 teams in the tournament. Meanwhile, in the East, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8 teams in the East.
Yeah.
Never change, XLeague.
Never change.
Never change.
Never change.
God damn it. Well, that'll do it, Erik. Is there anything else you want to talk about spring football related?
No. I'm excited for this XFL championship. I
will say, I usually stream all the USFL and XFL. When it's championship day, I will just be streaming the XFL championship game.
So here's my question to you, dude. Here, legitimately, here is my question to you. Saturday night, 7 p.m. Is that a good choice?
For the championship?
Yeah.
7 p.m. Eastern?
7 p.m. our time, sorry. So 8 p.m. Eastern.
I would have gone 1 hour earlier.
Yeah, I just don't know.
I don't hate it. Because of how quick the games go, I think being over by 10:30 is okay.
So let me Google something real quick. NBA playoff schedule. What series? Yeah. What? Who are they going to be going against here? What day is that, my friend?
It would be the 13th.
Oh, no way.
What?
It looks like there's no game scheduled on the 13th.
Hey, that's probably why they did it. I was wondering why they took the week off.
Because there's 3. Because game 6 of the Nugs Suns is Thursday. Game 7 would be Sunday. Game 6 of the Knicks Heat is Friday.
Do they go back to back to back? I thought they were taking days off in between.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks like they are having 3 games on Mother's Day with the Knicks on maybe the Knicks if they need to go 6 here. Oh no, the Knicks are on Monday. So there's no NFL games on that Friday.
No NBA. What's the NHL looking like? I guess that doesn't matter as much, but what's the NHL?
Oh shit.
That's huge.
I mean,
the only thing the XFL would be going up against is the USFL, and I think that week the USFL games.
All right, so let's go here.
I'll look up the USFL schedule while you're doing that.
So they'll have the
Stars. Yeah. There's no USFL that night either. The USFL game, the USFL goes at 11:30 our time and 3 p.m. our time.
So they're gonna. I mean, the reality of the situation is there'll probably be a 1 o'clock, a noon hockey game, and then a 3:34.
So there's nothing. There's only XFL.
Yeah, and maybe and of course MLB.
Yeah.
So I mean, props for props is due. I mean, that's pretty good.
Love that. Again, I would have gone 1 hour earlier if you could have.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And there's
That's pretty
no,
damn good. Okay, so this complete. I was gonna ask you what you thought about taking the week off, but with this information in context, I love the move.
yeah, I I think it's a great move. I mean,
Because if they were
and
playing this
also you have to
Saturday,
think, this Saturday there's NBA, NHL, and Kentucky Derby,
they'd be swamped.
and there's a UFC pay per view.
And there's USFL still. Like the USFL, I
Yeah,
think is going this week. They're doing Saturday is noon and 6:30 our time.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's huge. Good on you, XFL.
Look at smart.
So maybe I can stream all the games then, and just have two separate streams. Have a USFL gym stream for the USFL games, and then do the XFL championship on ABC. Let's get it. Let's fucking get
Let's
it.
do it. Let's win it. Let's do it.
Eric, what do you got going on in your life before we dip out of here?
I got my podcast coming out on Friday. Loaded UFC, Kentucky Derby, USFL with you. NASCAR. We hit another winner last week in NASCAR.
Boom!
And then, you can go to my YouTube channel, watch the sexiest man on social media, Jim. Come on the stream. He gave out a juicy 12-1 NFL future. And he gave out some bets. He said to take the Celtics. He said to take the C's first half. That was a win.
I did. I told people to take the C's whole game. I was a coward and negged on that, but it looked like that was a good bet.
I took the C's first half, first quarter. Jaylen Brown over 24.5. Straight cash, homie.
Look at us go. Y'all know where to find me. XFL Gym everywhere. I do the live streams for the USFL games and XFL games. Those will continue throughout the entire USFL season. Go to my YouTube. Check out the blob hype video for the best mascot in all of sports, the Philadelphia Stars mascot. I did a little video with Blob. So for anyone who loves the USFL, go check it out. I appreciate that. Give us a follow. Give us a like. And we'll see you guys next week for some more Spring Fever, where we give you the deep dive in to the XFL championship game.